newspaper headline. So let's get started. Yes, so I want to say happy Salah as we start on this. So once you hear me say that, let's just get started. All right, so the first one is Nigerians are groaning because there is severe food shortage. I mean, we've been saying this for many days now, like, yeah, 3 consecutive newspaper headlines, and it doesn't seem as if people want to turn attention to it, but no problems. We'll get to where we should get to. We'll rearrange our priorities appropriately at the right time. So the next paper is Daily Independent and says, tax leakages, oil subsidy hurts 2021 budget implementation. Of course, don't forget that they have been borrowing every year to fund this for this budget, and at the end of the day, the implementation is always the problem. Aside from padding it, aside from inflating the costs, at the end of the day, by the time they even borrow loan to fund it, there are still leakages that make implementation impossible. Okay, so at the end of the day, we're always back to square one. That's why you see them budgeting for the same thing every year, as if they didn't do it last year. So unfortunately, they don't get to do anything at the end of the day. So I just push to the next paper here. High prices deprive faithfuls of Salah celebration amidst claim of declining inflation. So I just said it, that food prices are going up. There is severe food shortage in the country, and people want to celebrate Salah too. If you're not a civil servant and you're able to know what to do, you may not be able to afford to buy ram for your Salah celebration. That's the situation. I move to the next paper here. This is Daily Sun. It says, Presidency knocks Bishop Kukah hard and calls the priest a disappointment for allegedly castigating Nigeria before foreigners. Now, the simple response to Presidency, I'm sure all of you already have, is that if Presidency should not just be disappointed in Bishop Kukah, Presidency should be disappointed in over 200 million Nigerians, because everybody has the same belief that, I mean, this president or this regime or this administration is not about them, it's not concerned about them. So a lot of people are not happy. So it's not just about Bishop Kukah. Okay, so it's not just about Bishop Kukah. So Presidency should be disappointed in over 200 million people who feel disappointed in the presidency. So Bishop Kukah is not against the country. Bishop Kukah is criticizing the administration that is not doing well. If you take, for instance, insecurity out of the problems, which is not just insecurity as you think, it's deliberate insecurity backed by the regime. You keep taking terrorists and putting them back to the society to continue to terrorize and prosper their business of kidnapping for ransom. So even if you borrow from here to Israel and use the money for anything else, as far as you're backing insecurity, there are over 200 million people who are not happy. So if you are disappointed in Bishop Kukah, you are disappointed in over millions of people who are also not happy about this administration. So the statement made by Bishop Kukah that you are disappointed over is symbolic and representative of the thoughts and opinions of many Nigerians. So, and that's just the simple response. And I'm not defending Bishop Kukah, but I'm just saying, at least for that one he said, he's not misrepresenting Nigeria. He's only criticizing the administration or the regime that is making Nigeria look difficult for people to stay in. And the next paper, Punch, says Buhari's aid defense rejection. That is rejection of the e-transmission of election results motion. So while everybody is saying, no, this is not supposed to be, of course, what do you expect? Presidency defends it. I mean, should I expect them not to defend it? So Presidency defends it. And then Nigerian Bar Association, civil society organizations, others say resolution is not only illegal, but also selfish. Let's take the next paper. New Telegraph. Fear grips senators who voted against electronic transmission of results. Now, something is very important here. You notice that before, when we say, let us face what is affecting all of us and stop putting all our energy in what is not. Now that they see people now talking about them, you can see that we are getting, now fear grips them. Okay. Otherwise, there are so many things they did within the period we were distracted with other different things. Okay. There were so many things they did that they got away with because people were not focusing on them. Now that we are coming back to focus on them, fear has gripped the Senate. And it shouldn't stop there. Civil society organizations should just continue. I mean, it should be about what Nigerians want, not about what you, the representatives, want. I mean, if all of you, like I said, like I suggested before, if all the senators usually go back to their constituents, maybe hold a town hall meeting, maybe even if it's not monthly, maybe quarterly, or even once in 6 months, brief them. The following have been sponsored on the floor of the Senate. The following are going to be beneficial to our people. I voted in support of this, I voted against this, and these are the reasons. Because whatever you are doing on behalf of the people you represent in your district. But because all those things are not there, we have not been showing care. Now, we should start showing care. Start asking them questions. Not all of them are bad after all. There are some of them who have good hearts, but they are overwhelmed. And because people are not really supporting them, they also just give in to whatever their colleagues want to do. But if we continue to engage politically, and these senators are taking it back to the floor to say, no, my people say they want this, and I can't go against it. Our will, our wants, our desires, our interests as Nigerians will now start taking the front lead or front rows in their deliberations at the Senate. So, I mean, look at this very well again. Fear grips senators. I mean, it's because even if you have not yet started going to take it physically enough, the reactions we are given, they know that people are no longer shutting their minds. They are now paying attention to what we're doing. So it's important we just continue in that fashion. Now, this is where we should also start getting worried. The testing and isolation centers meant for the COVID-19 responses shut in states despite imminent COVID-19 third wave. Now, there is already a warning going on that third wave of COVID-19 is about to be experienced or witnessed in the country. So, the testing centers, isolation centers are now being shut. In the first place, when they were even brought up, it wasn't as if they were really functional. They didn't really function as much, but now they are shutting. Is somebody worried? Okay, maybe not necessary. Now, let me also inform you that there may be lockdown in major cities, just in case you're not aware. There may be lockdown because they are not only afraid, they are not just afraid of the COVID-19. That's not really their worry. Okay? They are worried that people want to come out August 5th. So ahead of August 5th, expect they may announce major lockdown in major cities. Because they don't really want people to come out and protest. So expect lockdown in some major cities of the country. They don't want people to come out and protest. So expect it. Now, all these ones you're hearing here and there, they are just trying to use it. Remember during the NSAS protest, they did a similar thing while people were protesting in Lekki. They had to use COVID scare. It didn't work. They then came up with curfew. It didn't work. They then brought in soldiers. So now that people are planning to come out and protest, they are also planning to also announce lockdown ahead. So just prepare your mind. So when you hear that there is lockdown, just understand why they had to do it. Okay. And I take the next paper. Civil society organizations, CSOs, lawyers chide National Assembly for neglecting will of Nigerians. And the will of Nigerians here refer to the e-transmission of election results. Now, do not forget that when APC wanted to come to power, they got support of lawyers, CSOs, to bring in the EVM, that's the election voting machines, okay, and they use it to come to power. Now they are afraid because anytime a government becomes unpopular, it is afraid of its own shadows, okay. So they have become unpopular because they performed woefully, and they are afraid that people will vote them out. So they don't want e-transmission of it; they want it manipulated. That's of course. I'm not the one who said it. I mean, these are civil society organizations are saying, "What are you afraid of?" Lawyers are also saying the same. So, what are you afraid of? You are neglecting the will of Nigerians. I mean, can't you just be real for once? Okay. The next paper. Federal government places Kano, Lagos, Rivers, Kaduna, FCT, 2 others on red alert. You know, I said it that major cities where they know that protests are likely to rock, they have been placed on red alerts. Now they are bugging my network again. You know, they started bugging my network, but I'm done, don't worry. Okay. And the last one says National Assembly lays foundation to rig 2023 election. IPAC, CNPP and others